So, what is the real difference between a marathon runner who can go for hours and a heavyweight powerlifter who can, basically lift a car? I mean, they're both at the peak of human fitness, right? But their skills are completely different. And today, we're going to break down exactly why. Hey, welcome to Subject Simplified. If you're cramming for an exam or you've just ever felt like the term fitness is this one giant confusing cloud, you've come to the right place. We are going to break down the fundamental building blocks of physical fitness, making it all crystal clear. So yeah, let's get into it. So how are we going to do this? Easy. We're splitting it into two parts. First up, we're going to build the physical engine. Think of this as the raw power, the foundational stuff every single athlete needs. Then, in part two, we'll install the skill-based steering, and that's the finesse, the control that turns all that raw power into a championship-winning performance. All right, let's dive into part one and build that engine. These next few pieces are the absolute non-negotiables. You can't really be an athlete without them. But, and this is the key part, the recipe, the amount you need of each one, well, that changes everything. Okay, let's start with something we've all felt. You ever watch a marathon and wonder how they can just keep going for hours? Meanwhile, you're gasping for air after climbing a few flights of stairs to get to your lecture. Well, the answer is all about the efficiency of their engine. And that magical efficiency, it's called aerobic endurance. The key word you want to remember here is sustained. It's all about your body's ability to be an A-plus delivery service, getting fuel like oxygen and nutrients to your muscles during those really long activities. Think about a Tour de France cyclist. Their heart and lungs are just elite-level pumps, working nonstop for hours on end. Now, this next one is where a lot of people get tangled up. Strength versus muscular endurance. They sound similar, but they're not. Strength is all about the maximum one-time force you can create, like a powerlifter hitting their one-rep max on a squat. It's a single, massive explosion of effort. Muscular endurance, on the other hand, is about being all-day strong. It's the ability to do something over and over and over again, like a rower pulling those oars for an entire 2,000-meter race. Okay, next question, and let's be real for a second. Why can a gymnast just casually drop into the splits, while for some of us, just touching our toes feels like a monumental achievement? Well, that, my friends, is flexibility. And here's the important bit. It's not just about being stretchy. It's about having a full, healthy range of motion in your joints. A hurdler needs insane flexibility in their hips to clear that barrier without wiping out. A gymnast needs it, well, pretty much everywhere. It's all about moving a joint fluidly through its complete range of movement. Let's talk about speed. This one's pretty straightforward, right? It's how fast you can move from point A to point B. That could be your entire body, like a 100-meter sprinter just exploding down the track, or it could just be your limbs moving rapidly. In almost every sport, pure speed is an absolute game changer. And that brings us to the last part of our physical engine, body composition. This is a big one. It's not about how much you weigh on the scale. It's about what that weight is actually made of. It's the ratio of fat mass to everything else, your muscles, bones, and organs, also known as fat-free mass. For an athlete like a boxer or a wrestler, this is everything. They have to hit a very specific weight for their weight class, but they need to do it by maximizing muscle and minimizing fat to stay powerful. Okay, the engine is built. We have our foundation. But a Ferrari engine is pretty useless without a steering wheel and a skilled driver, right? So now we're moving on to part two, the skill-based edge. This is where we add the finesse, the control, the magic that wins championships. First up for skills is agility. Just picture a soccer player dribbling the ball, weaving through a line of defenders, or a basketball player executing a killer crossover that leaves their opponent standing still. That's agility. It's the ability to change direction quickly and precisely, all without losing your balance or, crucially, losing time. Next up, balance. And there are really two flavors of it. You've got static balance, which is holding a position perfectly still. Think of a gymnast holding a rock-solid handstand. Then you have dynamic balance, which is maintaining control while you're moving. The perfect example, a surfer carving up a wave. In both cases, it's all about mastering your center of mass. And what about coordination? You can think of this as your brain being the master puppeteer of your body, making sure everything works together smoothly. I mean, think about a tennis serve. You have to toss the ball with one hand, jump, rotate your body, and swing the racket with your other hand to hit the ball at the absolute perfect spot. All those moving parts have to work in perfect harmony. That is a massive feat of coordination. Okay, let's talk reaction time. This is that tiny, tiny sliver of time between a stimulus, like a starting pistol firing, and you actually beginning to move. At the elite level, we're talking about milliseconds. A Formula One driver reacting to the lights going out, a goalkeeper having to decide which way to dive for a penalty kick. A split second here is the difference between winning and losing. It's everything. And that brings us to our final component. And honestly, it might just be the most explosive one of them all: power. Now, if you've been paying attention, you might notice that this one sounds kind of familiar, almost like a mashup of a couple of things we've already talked about. And you would be absolutely right. Here it is, the athlete's equation. Strength multiplied by speed equals power. This simple formula is the secret ingredient for any explosive athlete. Think about it. Pure strength lets you push something heavy, but applying that strength with speed is what makes something fly. It's why a shot putter's quick, explosive throw is way more effective than a slow, steady push. That's power. So let's wrap this all up. There you have it, your fitness blueprint. The single biggest takeaway should be this: no sport relies on just one of these things. Every athlete is a unique recipe, a special mix of all 11 components. Our marathon runner is all in on aerobic endurance, but has very little power. And for our powerlifter, it's the complete opposite. Understanding this mix is literally the first step to training smart. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Now that you know the building blocks, take your favorite sport. Which one of these components do you think is the absolute most critical for an athlete to succeed in it? Really think about it. And that's a wrap. I really hope this helps simplify the sometimes confusing world of fitness for you. If it did, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to Subject Simplified for more of these explainers. Good luck on your exams, and I'll catch you in the next one.